Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We are coming to you from South Hadley, Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining me is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Coleman. He offers both public and private tours, as well as presentations of the local canal systems, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks and streets in Holyoke, South Hadley, and Chicopee, Mass. Now you actually lead these tours and give these presentations yourself, is that correct?
Yes, and I've given tours for the Kestrel.
And today we'll be talking about the Kestrel Land Trust. So what is the Kestrel Land Trust?
It's a land trust that tries to acquire land to make the Connecticut River Valley through Massachusetts, make sure that a lot of land is open for nature, both for people's use and for animals' use. And it has lots of other goals. It buys up land for itself, but it also buys land temporarily for other organizations until they can afford land. It also takes in trust or wills from people and keeps their land as a natural force. And it's been doing this now for half a century. And they're based in Amherst, but their extent is through much of the three-county region of the Connecticut River Valley in Massachusetts. And they have programs for people where they have tours on different trails, they have tours through the streets, they have presentations indoors at various locations, including in their Amherst-based headquarters, which is on Bay Road. And there they give presentations, and that's their center where most of their personnel does work. So Kestrel does a lot of things, and they own a lot of land, and they have a lot of maps on their site, so it's great to visit their webpage and see the different places they own themselves and other places they only take care of. There's places around Holyoke they take care of, and they've done other projects around Holyoke, so we're going to talk about those along the way.
And what are the goals of Kestrel?
Okay, the Kestrel goal is try to preserve nature within the Pioneer Valley, and the amount of land that they own is apparent on their maps. They have a gorgeous map of all the places that they take in, and they have a gorgeous map of all their trail systems, and you can actually go there and walk along and experience their many trail systems. And they also have a goal about education and make sure that people understand what they're up to and what nature is all about. So they teach people about what wildlife is like, and also how to have private individuals take care of their own land. And they also offer finances to institutions like cities or towns that want to preserve some of their land, either on their own or with Kestrel's help.
And so quickly before we continue with the rest of our interview, just to fill our listeners in, if you want to sign up for any of his various tours or check out more information, you can find it on his website at holyokecanaltour.org. And you can also email him directly for private tours or to inquire about anything else at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And on his website, there he has videos of the various stops along each tour, and also past and present photos of the historical sites throughout as well. And if you're interested in setting up a private tour, they are perfect for fun, educational outdoor activities for the whole family or for your group parties, especially those special occasions and get-togethers. And they are also good just for getting outdoors for the day. So getting back to our interview, what further projects do you see Kestrel taking on in Holyoke?
All right, what they've done in Holyoke is Holyoke was having a redo of their anniversary and community field parks. And about 4 years ago, Holyoke contacted them and said, we want to buy this land on the north face of Craft Hill. We can't afford it right now. And we want to know if you have the money to buy it up before we can find ways of affording it. And so what happened was that Kestrel, put out $1 million to buy the land on the north face of Craft Hill. And the reason why that was important, because Holyoke wanted to redo this Anniversary Hill Park, get Scott's Tower redone, the WPA and the CCC bridges redone, and also put a handicap accessible route from the north over that new land. They would come up with the money through the Community Preservation Act grants and to $1 million, and Kestrel was thus a temporary bridge to be able to do that. So that was one great project. And Holyoke has kept up with the project, and they're starting to bulldoze the land that needs to be done. And so, with Kestrel's great help, they could do this. They also had a project where Kestrel was going to be the caretaker for land out in the West Holyoke area called Glutak Park Forest. And there, through a double CPA project again in Holyoke, they were able to buy up the land, and Kestrel promised to be the stewards of the land out there. Also, Kestrel puts on programs in Holyoke. They had, they had one walk in Holyoke up the top of Mount Nonotuck, which has the Erie Hills on the top of it. They hired me a couple of times for historical tours around Holyoke, once on the Holyoke Canal system, and another one based in Sahali, where we walk from Sahali Library to the Vietnam Veteran Bridge and then over into the Holyoke side. And we saw the nature that was on the Sahali side in this Riverside Park, and then the nature that was on both sides of the bridge, and then also what was in the Holyoke Canal. So it's a great group that does a lot for Holyoke, and we'll do more for Holyoke.
And what has Kestrel done in Holyoke?
Okay, further than that, what they're going to do is they're going to develop more plans, probably with the city of Holyoke's guidance along the way. And one thing I wish they do in the future is they could be very helpful when it comes up to, if it ever comes up that the former Mountain Park amusement park land comes up for sale, and developers want to change it over into condominiums or homes. I hope that Holyoke could jump on the situation, buy up the land. They might not have the money right away, but Kestrel might be able to give up the land and buy up that land. And also the land that's a little further north, which is now owned by the Holyoke Boys Club. That land where the quarry is, if it ever comes up for sale, Holyoke should buy it up and turn it into one of their conservation lands. Also, the Wading Street Reservoir, if that is ever given up, I hope that Holyoke's ready to jump on it, make a within the city purchase, because they already own that land, but it's in a different department, and then turn it to conservation land. The same with the two golf courses in Holyoke, the Wyckoff Golf Course and the Holyoke Golf Course. If they ever come up for sale, I bet you developers would love to change them over to residential homes and streets. And so you should jump on this situation with Kestrel's help. They can take over the land, and then Holyoke can turn them into conservation lands also. And that way, the Mount Holyoke Range and the Mount Tom Range will be fully bought up for public use. A lot of the Holyoke Range already is, but the Mount Tom Range has the eastern flanks, almost for its full extent, in private hands. And I think Holyoke should be ready to buy up all that land so no one can develop on it. That would be great to have two beautiful mountain ranges right across from each other on the Connecticut River. And Kestrel should be involved with this. They should put up, hopefully, the money, and then Holyoke can come through with the money to keep everything natural.
So thank you for educating us on your tours, and we want to thank our listeners again for tuning in. And you can also tune in to a large selection of our other podcasts and much more at his website. And again, that's holyokecanaltour.org. And then you can email him directly for private tours or to inquire about anything else at bobcat4214, @yahoo.com. And be sure to keep an eye on his upcoming 2024 season tours and more